Hi, this is Debbie Diller, and I'm here with you on Facebook Live for our second broadcast. I am visiting in San Antonio, Texas right now. I'm at West Avenue Elementary, and I've got some friends here to help me today. Say hi, girls. We have just finished 2 days of in-service, and we are all tired. And I will tell you this, we have no air conditioning in the building because they're saving money and turning the air off at 3. Yes. So if we look a little sweaty, that's probably why. So we have spent 2 days together, and we have been learning. Hi, Michael. Good to see you. And Karina. Oh, my God. I hope you're feeling well today. These are people I know. So anyway, it's exciting to have you guys here with me. So our focus today is going to be thinking about setting up your classroom for the beginning of the school year. So yesterday, girls, tell them what we did yesterday, all day long. What did we do?
We set up classrooms.
We designed our classrooms.
We designed our classrooms. So we didn't collaboratively. Oh, look who's here, Victor!
Not decorate, we designed.
Victor is their principal, so we better be careful. He's the guy that made sure that I got here. So great to have you with us too, Victor. So as we think about classroom setup, how many of you are thinking about classroom setup out there in viewing land? Probably that's why you're joining me right now. So as we think about classroom setup at the beginning of the year, we spent all day doing this yesterday, and so I want the teachers here. Actually, why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Tell them who you are, what you teach.
My name is Brenda Rodriguez, and I teach second grade here at West Avenue Elementary.
My name is Morgan Thompson, and I also teach second grade.
Veronica Smith, I teach kindergarten.
And Brittany Kempa, I teach first grade.
All right, so we got a great collection of teachers here, and they're staying after in the heat. So Victor has just written in, so proud of my staff and the work they've done with Debbie. They are amazing. They absolutely are. So we're meeting in Brenda's room today. Brenda's been getting ready for school starting.
Yes.
They actually all have, but I was afraid it would be too hard to carry the camera all over the school. It would take too long. So we are going to talk about getting these classrooms started right now, getting set up. So there's 3 points I want to make today, and I'm going to have the girls help me talk a little bit about these. So the first one is what I call design, don't decorate. Design, don't decorate is thinking about your students' behavior and how that is going to affect what happens in the classroom. How many of you girls ever decorated your classroom?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, go to the teacher supply store, get all your stuff. There's some cutesy stuff. There's too many borders. So what do?
Use them all.
Yeah.
Get them all. Get one of each. Just because they're all beautiful. And so this idea of designing, not decorating, is very different. So anybody want to share anything you learned about designing, not decorating?
I think with the designing has really helped without not doing without decorating, but designing my room to make sure that it's going to be beneficial for the children when they come in, and that they're going to have a workspace that they still feel comfortable in, and where it flows well, and where it's academically secure for them to be. So, and not getting all that cutesy stuff. I don't want someone staring at, a little bird or a little butterfly and being more, cautious about where their little clip goes with something like that, and just making the design more comfortable for them.
Thank you. So anybody else want to chime in with anything you learned about designing?
We plan purposely for the children, not really for our needs and what we like.
Yes,
So-
it's not about us.
It's not about us, it's about the kids.
That's one of the first things I taught them yesterday was it's not about
It's not about
you,
us. It's not about
but it is up to you to design a classroom that's really going to be the most beneficial for our children. So design, not decorate. Don't do all that cutesy stuff. What did I tell you about cute?
Run,
If it's
run.
cute,
If it's cute,
run.
Run away.
Okay, don't get sucked into the cutesy thing. You can have an attractive room, an inviting room. We're going to take a tour of Brenda's room a little bit later in our broadcast today. But design, don't decorate. Anybody else have anything about designing that you want to throw in? Just any other comments?
Just stick to like 2 colored themes, just
Two
so it's
colored
not so distracting.
So
for the
part of
kids.
designing is thinking about a color scheme and not going crazy with colors. So one of the things we've learned about color, what are those calming colors we learned about?
Blues and greens.
Blues and greens are really calming. What can make kind of crazy?
Right.
Red, okay, like if you want to use some red and orange, those are okay. They're nice colors, but they can kind of make kids a little bit too excited. So keeping these pretty calm is a smart thing to do. So design, don't decorate, okay? Now, the second thing we're going to talk about is being purposeful about every space in the classroom. Typically, when I work with teachers, often what they do first is they set up what?
Their area.
Their area.
Yes.
Their teacher area. Remember, it's not about
You.
It's not about you. It's about the kids. We're trying to make our environment student-centered. So this idea of being purposeful about every single space is to put the desks actually out last, not first. And what did we learn about that when we put the desks last, not first?
There'll always be space for desks.
Somehow they fit. I can't explain it, but they do always seem to fit when we do that. So we didn't start with the desk. We actually started thinking about every space and being very purposeful about it. So as for look at that, isn't that some of you liked hearing that. Awesome. That's awesome. It's really fun doing this, isn't it? There's like these little like hearts and thumbs up all over the screen right now. Oh, thank you. That's really cool. So being purposeful about every space is thinking first of all about instructional spaces. So where do we spend most of our time as far as especially the beginning of the year? Where do we usually start?
Whole group.
Whole group area. So we want to have a purposeful area. We want to have that whole group area be comfortable enough for all the children. And we learned even in 5th grade, what did we do yesterday?
We put a rug in.
Right? We put a rug in.
Created
I think
that
at first the
whole group
teachers
area.
were going to have a heart attack.
Yes.
Like, we're not bringing these kids into a rug. But, once we talked about it and really thought about it, it makes sense. They're just kids, and they like that sense of community. So we planned for a whole group area. What other area did we plan for?
Small
Small
group area.
Small group area.
And our classroom library.
Library.
And our classroom library, which we're going to focus a little bit on, and we're going to focus on that a little bit in this broadcast. We learned that whoops, I just gave it away. We learned that the classroom library should be, everybody, the
Focal point.
focal point. Okay. Why do we want it to be the focal point? What's such a big darn deal about the library?
Reading
We
and
want
literature.
our students to love reading.
We want them to love reading. We
Be
want them
excited
to
about reading.
be excited so that the first thing they see when they come in the classroom is, oh my gosh, we're going to get to read. We're going to have lots of books to read. We don't want them to see the teacher desk as the first thing they come in. In fact, how many of you guys have a teacher desk anymore?
I just put mine in the hallway.
So you don't really need a teacher desk. What are you using instead?
A table.
You're going to use your small group table and have it be command central?
And just a little organizer behind me for my little stuff that I need, that I know I need right on the spot.
So just having those things right there at your fingertips that you're going to need. Because sometimes that desk becomes a big old clunky mess. It's kind of like
Right.
a clutter
Stack
magnet.
It becomes a clutter
Yeah.
spot where you just start stacking stuff
Yeah.
on top of it, so
Yeah,
just get rid of it.
Stack, stack, stack. So we're going to be purposeful about every single space, and we'll be taking a tour of the classroom really soon. The third thing I want you to think about is as you're thinking about setting up your room, there's 3 big things. I would start with furniture first, then put your attention on the walls, and then look at your storage spaces also. So yesterday, when we met together, the first thing we did is we worked together to map out our space. What happens if we try to do it alone?
It's not gonna work.
It gets overwhelming.
It gets overwhelming. You end up shuffling furniture everywhere. So we worked together to map out the space first. And after we mapped it out, then what do we do?
And we moved.
Put it in action.
We moved. We went into
Together.
action together. And about how long did it take us to move stuff?
10
10
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah,
Like 10 minutes. I mean, how long do you usually spend doing this by yourselves?
2
Days.
Days, weeks
Days.
on end. So, you guys are going to be good to go in a very, very short amount of time, which is really exciting to have done that. So, thinking about furniture. Now, many times when I work in classrooms, we end up taking furniture out because there's often too much furniture. We didn't really have this issue here because I think the principal took care of it a few years ago, from what I understand. I think we were asked to not have a lot of excess furniture in your classrooms, and it really made the process pretty simple.
Right.
So sometimes there are things we don't really even need, like sometimes too many desks. If you're going to have 20 kids, don't bring in 28 desks. You really want 8 more kids in your room? so just kind of taking your, being thoughtful about that. Many times people have too many tables in their rooms, so making sure every table has a purpose, and that purpose is not, that's where I put my junk. Okay? We don't want to have a stuffed table. So really thinking wisely about your furniture, and like I said, we'll be taking that tour in a few minutes, and we'll talk about the purposes of all the spaces. Walls. What did you guys learn about walls?
Keep them simple.
Keep them simple, okay? What about borders?
Not crazy.
Another keep it simple.
Another keep it
Like,
simple,
the
okay?
same kind of borders
And keep
around
it
all the.
uniformed.
Keep it uniform,
Keep it
like the
uniform.
same one.
Remembering to have white space.
Yes.
Have
Have
Yeah.
white
That's what I was
space,
gonna
yeah.
say next.
Have white space, because white space in the classroom allows kids to breathe. So having some space where kids can actually breathe. We talked about energy and flow in a classroom, so it doesn't feel all congested. Like when you come in, all you're going to do is like walk into a bunch of desks and that type of thing. So really, really important to think about that. So furniture, look at walls. I talked with you a little bit yesterday about even labeling walls. So that idea of like anchor charts and stuff, you won't run out of room. So I know we haven't done all that yet. We've only done this for a day, so we're not totally finished. We're just getting started. And then storage spaces. Sometimes what will happen is if you have too much stuff in your storage spaces, then you're going to have to put it out on the floor. And we want to keep those spaces clean for children. So furniture, walls, and storage spaces. Anything you guys want to add to what I just said? Any tips that you took away that you thought might be helpful for the teachers to know about? What about the colors? We talked about colors yesterday, and like just 2 colors?
Yes.
Also,
Keep it.
try to stick to one pattern too.
And like on your borders, if you want to use a pattern border, just one pattern border so it doesn't get too
Throughout.
everyone. Yeah,
I like
throughout
the
the-
analogy you made yesterday also about would you do that? Would you put all different curtains in your house?
Yes.
In
I
one
like
room.
that. I think that hit
Yeah.
home for me. Oh, yeah, I would not want to do that.
No,
Yes.
too much. And you'll see behind us, we have a black background. This is a space we're all sitting in right now, which you'll see as a student space in a few minutes. But I want you to think about even black can be a good background because charts and things will be up here and they'll really show up well once we do that. So, all right, you guys ready for the tour?
We're ready.
All right, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. I haven't done this before.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to unplug. I have lights on here so we don't look all washed out. And are you girls tired?
Yes.
I'm exhausted.
Yes,
I mean,
it's been-
we did a whole day on setting up classrooms. Today we learned all about math stations.
Stations. It's been an awesome 2 days. It's
Thank
been a
you.
wonderful, wonderful 2
Thank
days.
you.
And
Well-
I'm so excited to start the new school year. I'm like ready to start putting stations
thank you.
together. And
Thank you.
Everything's been great.
Thanks. Well, people always ask me, like, do you go and work in schools?
Yes.
Where do you think I know this stuff from? No, I stay in my office all day
So
long.
we've been very grateful. It's been awesome.
No, and thank you, Victor,
Yes,
for
thank you.
Thank you,
using your
Victor.
budget. Thank you, Victor, for using your budget to let me come here and work with the teachers. It's been really exciting. So, all right, so we are going to go ahead and try to go around the classroom for a few minutes. And so I'm going to unplug. We'll be back, so if you're tuning in, don't worry, we're not leaving. I'm just going to unplug here for a second and try to carry this little camera along with me. So it might be a little wonky here. So let's stand in the entryway for a second. Okay, let's come here in the entryway. And let's pretend that we're just coming in the door,
you want
okay?
me to wheel this in here?
Yeah, you can wheel that back. So, thank you. We're kind of having to stage here a little bit.
This would be better
And
over
the teachers are going to help me move some things around. And then we're going to pretend like we are coming in the door for the first time as children. Brenda, what grade do you teach?
Second grade.
Second grade. So this is a second grade classroom. Okay, I'm not sure. If I turn it
Do you want me to
around,
turn it around?
yeah, you can. Why don't you be my camera girl?
Sure.
Okay. There you go. You can be the camera girl. How's that look? Can we see what's going on?
Or how about I turn the? Can
Yeah,
I
try
turn
to
it?
turn the camera. You girls know that I haven't done this on. This is like the second time. Just don't turn this
There you
on.
go.
Oh, super.
Okay.
Okay. So you're coming in the door.
Sorry, Bill, I'm in the doorway.
Okay. Come on, you guys can be the second graders. Okay, come on, we're gonna come in the
Actually,
door.
sit down like we did yesterday. and
Okay.
Get a feel for it.
All right, so come on in. You're the teacher. Why don't you greet us? Okay.
Come on in. Welcome to my second grade classroom.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. So come on in. So as you can see, my second grade room, I just have furniture set up. It's not completely decorated.
Because what are we doing first?
I'm
Designing.
designing.
We're
I'm
designing.
designing. Sorry.
So we
It's been a
designed
long
the
2
furniture.
days.
We designed the
Designing,
furniture
very
first.
important word, please remember it, because I'm going to work on that too. But we are designing, so it took my friends, my team, other ladies from my other grade levels, and Debbie to come in and help map everything out and look to where everything needs to go and look for that space that we wanted to create.
All right, so let's take a look around. So let's go up to the whole group area first.
Group area?
So we have our whole group area.
So where will you be sitting when you're teaching?
When I teach, I'll be sitting right over here.
Okay. Just gonna be sitting here, and where are we gonna be,
They're
kids?
going to be sitting here.
We'll be on the carpet.
On the carpet.
We won't have skirts on.
Oh, this is
We'll be on
lights
the
out.
carpet. And what are some of the important things that you have here that we'll be working with?
Exactly. This is one thing that I have learned to be so beneficial in my learning time has been to put my word wall right over in this area. That way I have access to it. That way my kids have access to it, and it's just right here for us. So what I do is I grid everything out. I have, all the way to Z, but I have also my vowels in a different color. So that way that stands out also for my kids too, because we're still learning all of that phonics. And then I also put my words, they can come off and on. So if the kids need it, we can take it off, we can do a little word study with it, and we can put it right back onto the wall.
And it's a magnetic space. So
It's a magnetic
interactive.
space.
Absolutely.
Mhm. So it works out great.
What else do you have in your whole group area?
My whole group area is going to have my smart board right over here. So when we're doing technology activities, we just kind of turn our bodies, and we can do a whole teach from right over here as well.
And there's carpet on the floor, so the kids can be comfortable on this carpet on the floor.
On the floor.
So that's what we're.
So I've got
Another area we have is over here. If you want to just
So then we turn around and we come right over here. This is going to be my small group space
All right,
area.
let's all be in
Remember
the
small group?
This is our small group area, so we're right over in this area, and it works out perfect because it gives us away from a quieter area right over here, and it's not so heavy right over in the whole group area. We come this way a little bit. So I keep all my supplies, whatever I'm teaching, doing groups for that day, things like that, I keep all right back in here. And I'm also lucky to have this door right here, so I can use this also, where I can create and put anchor charts.
Great display space when you're teaching, so you can actually be pointing over there and doing that.
And doing things over here. And of course, we'll have our labels above that to know for that. And then we have another bulletin board right over here that works great also for small group teach, because that's where I get all my phonics things, and it'll be labeled as well, so the kids know. Excellent. Yeah. If you'll stand,
Show the view of what Brenda will have.
And if you come over here, I get to see my whole entire classroom
From this spot.
from this spot. So I can make sure that while I'm sitting back here, I have an eye out on what's going on in every little inch of space in my classroom.
Because the kids will be at stations, literacy stations during literacy time, and math stations during math time, which we learned about today. So we have a whole group area, a small group area. What's our big, exciting focal point of the classroom?
It's going to be right across the room. And we have it in our little corner, little nook right over here, and it's going to be our library center. So I've created a library center for the kids.
Here, I'll stand and you can sit down.
I've created a library center right here for the kids. Got some chairs for them to kind of sit down, enjoy their books. We have our shelves. We have a nice colorful rug in here for them to sit down if they want to just sit down on the carpet and read. But it's an inviting area for them to really, get a book and just dig in. So really love the area.
I want to read, sitting here. I don't know.
Yeah,
She doesn't have the books out yet.
Yeah, I don't have
It's
anything
cozy.
out,
But they
it's
will be
just-
coming, so we
Right.
just have the bones set up right now. We also set up some stations around the room, so if we want to kind of walk around and maybe show where a few of the stations are going to be.
You're gonna start
So-
with writing?
Writing station's going to be right over in here, in this area.
Natural light.
Yes, that is something that was really important, that I've learned
I don't know about
in
you,
my
but
20s.
I got a book due.
Is I've always kind of put it over in another corner of the room, but I decided to put it right over here because that natural light has just really, brought light in for the kids to write. And also what I liked about it is they can actually see things outside, so it just inspires that creativity too when they're writing.
So we'll have a library, we'll have a writing station,
Right,
we'll have
writing
word
station.
study, probably
And
by
we're
word wall.
we're conscious of putting the writing station by
Near the word
Near-
wall.
near
Near our
the
word
word
wall.
wall.
Yeah, so kids can actually access it.
Right, and then right under there will be word study,
Oh,
for word
awesome.
study. And then if we come over to over here, this will be our math area. So I do have this magnetic space area to put math anchor charts on.
And she has her numbered containers already ready right here.
Yes, I have my number containers already all ready
Yeah, so they're all ready
for
to
my
go.
math workstations, and then I'll have, the center choice, the
Your
chart.
management
The
board
management
there.
chart.
And we have another station, which I'm really excited about.
Yes, this is my new
Over here.
station that I've added this year, and it's right over in here. This is actually where I used to have my writing center. So as you can see, the other area is it's so inviting. But this was, I haven't decided, so maybe you guys can help me out, but I thought this area would be a good, maybe exploration area for science, or a buddy reading area. a conference area. Maybe this could be an area where I meet one-on-one during writing workshop time. The kids can come over, we can, write, and I can maybe put some things right up here for
They
them.
can maybe even write and confirm. We haven't really figured that out.
Yeah, I
yet,
haven't
so
figured this
just
area
thinking
out,
about
but I'm
that.
so excited about it, and I love it just because it's so.
We're
Inviting.
open suggestions.
Inviting.
You guys
So inviting.
can let us know. So.
Yes.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's all come back together again, and let's see if there's any questions from our audience right now. So we'll flip it around.
You wanna flip the camera?
Yeah, go back, yeah.
Table back.
Okay. Go back here. All right, great. Yeah, so we need our tray back. Sorry, I don't have a professional camera crew. It's like us teachers trying to figure this out, so. All righty. So Brenda's going to go on to her phone and see if she can get some questions from you guys, and we'll spend just a few minutes. I know it's a little crooked. Did we get it back on?
Oh, I was trying
Okay.
to.
Oh, she's trying to fix it. I'm so glad to have young people helping me.
I was trying to get those out of
They
the
don't
way.
come out. It's all right.
Okay.
Hi, Becca. Hi, Erica Ramirez is on there.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
our best. Hi, Erica. Oh, and Deb. Hi, Deb. She's my really good friend. And Tanya. and Sheila. Hi. Sorry, these are friends of mine. They're all coming online, so it's great to see you guys. So they're going to look up some questions if they can find some for me. I'm going to go over our main points again. Design, don't decorate. Be purposeful about every space. I hope you could see that there's not a lot of extra stuff in here. We don't have all the desks set up yet. She was a little short on desks as we were setting up yesterday, so there will be a few more desks coming into the classroom that didn't quite get,
not quite yet.
finished yet. So,
One thing I know I didn't mention on the tour was white space.
yes.
Is making sure that white space is available in between things. I know sometimes we try to use every inch
Yes.
of space we have or every piece of the wall and just try to, stack our shelves right next to each other. But creating a little bit of space,
Between the
just
furniture.
Between the furniture just creates
Yeah.
a little bit more of the, I can breathe in here.
Exactly.
So-
A lot of teachers will put every piece of furniture like smack up against another one so we can fit more furniture on it. So that's a great
Yes.
tip. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing that one and reminding them of that one. So any questions coming in? They're trying to help me here.
We had one that asked for how many students.
How many students are typically in your room?
It's 15 to 18.
15 to 18 in this campus, but I have done this with as many as 28 children in a classroom, 30 kids in a classroom, so it just depends. And
Right.
the last thing we put in is the desk. We do that last night first, and you just make it work. One thing to think about is sometimes kids can even sit at a table. They don't all have to be at a desk.
They
so
don't.
Your small group table is another option there. So.
And I have tried that, and it worked out really well in second grade, is using a table as one of the options for
Right.
seating, so it worked out really nicely.
Yeah, I think it's a good option. So any other questions that you guys are seeing coming in right now? We are standing by live with questions if you have any questions to ask. So that's the last one. So, well, that's okay. Well, if there's no more questions, we're going to sign off. So thank you so much.
thank you.
guys. Appreciate them all
We're
being
excited.
here. We're excited for the new school year. And don't waste too much time decorating. What are we going to do instead?
Design.
Thanks.